And this person is seen as an outsider, right? He is seen as an outsider, whether you want to assume he's an American or not. You can't deny there's a tremendous amount of people that don't really see him as an American in the same way that they might see a whiter, like an African-American person as an American. And basically what I think has happened is that him coming out and criticizing it hit a lot different than if it was like, let's say me or Tucker Carlson that said it, because let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's because we're white guys and we've probably been in the country for 400 years. And so there's a degree of implicit.
True. He's spitting.
I'm not arguing with you. Like I said, I agreed with Vivek. I'm just saying that this is a very clear sentiment that a lot of people have.
Oh, man.
Cool. You have no place in the future of the conservative movement.
I don't know if I'm giving away the game here, right? But this is the reason why there's been such a big advocacy to make not seen as like a bad person, is people view as the final seal of unlocking white identity politics.
Oh, no. Okay, never mind. I would like to take it back. Oh, God. Guys, I'm not ready for this. So, this is Asmongold's video. This is a civil war. Okay, ready? All right, here we go.
There has been a civil war. That's right. We've been waiting on this for a while, haven't we? Well, it's finally here. There's a civil war now, and it's between basically a lot of the neoconservatives and also now with certain individuals that we are all quite familiar with. And this has been a debate.
He's talking about Nick Fuentes, right?
You mentioned him, and your name came up on the stage last night in regards to pretty much all of this. Would you like the opportunity to respond?
Well, I found it kind of funny that Ben thinks he has the power to decide who gets excommunicated from the conservative movement, which shows a willful blindness.
He's right. She's right about this. That like him acting like, oh, everybody should excommunicate this person. The problem is that a lot of Ben Shapiro's criticism of like, what do you call it? Of like Nick.
Oh yeah, they hate Ben, right? Because this is Ben versus Fuentes, right?
Fuentes and stuff like that. I think that there's some validity in it, but I think that all of that validity goes out the window when you realize that this is a person that's acting in the best interest of Israel. That's the problem.
I thought he was gonna say something smart, but then we're just gonna circle back to Israel. Why? Is it because he's Jewish? That's it? It's because Asmongold is Jewish? Sorry. Oh my God, Asmongold is Jewish. Of course Asmongold is Jewish. Everything makes sense now. But is it just because Ben Shapiro is Jewish? Is that why he's acting in the best interest of Israel?
People have.
Okay, all right.
About his position in it.
Based, I guess.
It reminded me a little of when the girl who was the head of our middle school chorus told me she was going to take all my friends away from me.
Oh.
Chorus? The head cheerleader, maybe.
I was mad. What else is new?
I objected to the whole thing. Ben and I, he had the nerve to call me a friend right before he called me a despicable coward for not calling out the people he once called out. So he both wants to parent me and be my child. He wants to tell me what
I finished 107 Days by Kamala Harris yesterday. Interesting for sure, and definitely puts some stuff into perspective. Also felt a little like propaganda, because it is. It's fine. It's okay.
To do and who I have to say what to, and then when I don't, he and
I'm a propaganda enjoyer, okay?
Because I won't do what they say. They need me. I have to be their daddy and step in to protect them.
Yeah, no, he's right. I mean, Ben Shapiro he's basically calling on a lot of other conservative people to try to defend him against the America First Nick Fuentes faction. And the problem is that he's losing massively, and he's losing in the court of public opinion. That's the worst court to lose in.
And I am not their daddy, and I resent that he thinks he's in a position to decide who must say what to whom and when.
Exactly.
The audio's bad on that video? Yeah, I mean, balancing audio for somebody on stage is hard.
Thank you.
I think people
it's harder than something like if I had a mic in front of me and
especially
stuff.
Like this messaging is like especially problematic for conservatives because they're just coming off of like a 10-year censorship campaign for their values. So basically, like you've had people getting deplatformed constantly during COVID and before COVID for sharing opinions that are against the grain, and now here comes Ben Shapiro asking for another brand of censorship.
So I don't think we are friends anymore.
Damn.
I've been a very good friend. Nobody knew who the heck Ben Shapiro was when I started putting him on my shows on the Fox News channel, and I helped make him a star. And I've been very good to Ben over the years, and he's been good to me too. He just recently came on my tour, as did you, and I gave him the most
Ben is Omega cooked.
kind introduction I could possibly give him because I know that he's losing subscribers a lot. And
let's see if that's still true. I looked at it before. How's he doing now? Is he losing subscribers? So why is there a dash next to the 20? What's that? It means super? Oh, it means he's gaining super subscribers. Is that it? So it's not good, right? Somebody says in chat, it's a wrong way, bozo. It's really just that simple now, isn't it? So, yeah, he is losing subscribers, and he is on a generational, there's like people say a generational run. Well, this is like a generational crash.
So I tried to do something nice for him by giving him a long 10-minute intro and personally vouching for him, and we mixed it up on Israel out on stage. It wasn't Israel because we're on the same place in Israel. We mixed it up over whether Tucker Carlson should be excommunicated from the conservative movement, which I do not believe, and...
Like the fact that he assumes that Ben Shapiro is on the side of Israel based off of what, like he's working for Israel. He's very pro-Israel, don't get me wrong, okay? But I think that there's a marketable difference between being pro-Israel and like actually working for Israel. Yeah, again, this implication that Ben Shapiro is some kind of agent of Israel. I mean, he could be, who knows? Because he's a large political commentator, right? He could be, but again, just weird. It just feels weird, you know? Like whenever you call a Jewish person like somebody who is working for Israel, it just feels weird, you know? It just feels weird, man, you know?
Thank you.
Well, the you know what I mean? Is that the age of gatekeeping
I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't, but
period.
You know.
It is. It's over. Yeah. It's dead. It's done. There is no more gatekeeping allowed. Like nobody is going to put up with and listen to gatekeeping anymore.
When it was over,
the era of gatekeeping is gone. Like, are you? what else is being gatekept that is no longer being gatekept? Wait, what? The era of gatekeeping is gone. Okay. I mean, he's talking about conservatives should fall in line behind Nick Fuentes, okay? Like, just to be very clear what he's talking about. He's talking about, oh, people should fall in line behind Nick Fuentes. But, like, it's just the era of gatekeeping. What does that mean?
Said goodbye, and then we had a nice text exchange.
You might want to watch Shapiro's speech on TPUSA recently. He laid it out on the table. This is the reaction to that, essentially. Oh, okay.
A couple days later, saying our friendship was important to us. And the next thing I saw was him attacking me on stage last night as a cow. So that's not friendship.
Damn.
And I think that's fine with me, with friends like that.
Man. Why are people hating Ben Shapiro again?
After his rant about women needing to not be involved in video games, don't you understand? Women should stay to Stardew Valley and other girly games like Candy Crush, even though Stardew Valley was made by a man. Even though Stardew Valley was made by a man. Eric Barone.
Megan Kelly at Turning Point USA saying that she failed.
Oh, okay. You must be talking about some other game, right? Like what? Like other gay indie games made by women? Let's see, who made Undertale? Must be a woman. Toby Fox, okay.
Candace Owens asking questions like at Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk were involved in Charlie's assassination.
It was fine. Again, I don't think Israel had anything to do with it, but why did I have an obligation to stop Candace from asking those questions? I didn't, and I didn't call her out because I favored her asking them. It was fine.
Yeah, people are going to ask it's a stupid question. Candace Owens, like, I think that a lot of like what she's going on with is so stupid, but she has every right to be stupid. She does. And that's it. I don't see the problem at all.
Let's go.
And we have, and then this is the past and the future. There is.
I don't even disagree with this. Like this talk of like, oh, Candace has the, like, what, you know what? I support the infighting, okay? I support the infighting. I support Candace's campaign. Wait, hold on. If Asmongold is like pro-Fuentes, is Candace anti-Fuentes? I'm pretty sure Candace is anti-Fuentes, right? I wonder what his thoughts are on that. Maybe he's like, oh yeah, she should speak her mind, but then she's attacking our king. Or something.
It's a real person under 40 who feels this way. Literally zero. Man. 60,000 likes, 61,000 likes on this. Oh, here we go.
If you believe that boys should compete with girls in girls sports, I'm sorry, not on the team. You have no
Foodshops slowly becoming an Asmon fan? No, I fucking hate Asmongold. That'll probably never happen.
If you believe, thank you. It's pretty obvious, but I'm gonna say it anyway. If you believe in racial quotas in government hiring, you have no place in the conservative movement. Sorry, you're not on the team. You're free to believe it. It's a free country, but you have no place in the conservative movement. If you believe in normalizing hatred
pro JD Vance,
towards any ethnic group, toward whites, towards blacks, towards Hispanics, towards Jews, towards Indians, you have no place in the future.
Is he pro Vivek?
Period. And I will not apologize.
I think that the racial divide, like you do have like an emerging white racial identity movement that's happening in conservative politics. I think this is a losing proposition. It is. It's a losing proposition. Maybe in the future it's a good idea, but I'll tell you right now it's not. If you go with that and you use that, you're going to lose. That's it.
Wait, what is he? Hold on. I'm not sure whether or not he's endorsing Vivek's message or not.
For that. I will not hedge when I say it. If you believe, and you will forgive me for giving you an exact quote from our online commentator, Nick Fuentes, if you believe...
Getting called out on stage. Man. This guy straight up disappeared, though? Well, the reason why Vivek disappeared is because he lost all of his credibility and all of his goodwill because he criticized basically the way that America, like, idealizes sports and, you know, like, I guess, like, aesthetics beyond, like, you know, mathematics and competency.
That's bad messaging electorally? Okay, so he's anti-Vivek. Is it just because he's Indian? And Nick Fuentes hates Indians, and that's why? Oh my god. As you can see, the lips are moving, the eyes are twitching, but there is nothing up there, okay? It's completely empty, all right? His head is devoid of matter, okay? It's just filled with air.
Like, exactly, he's a fraud. Well, he wasn't wrong. I think Vivek wasn't wrong, too. I do. I agree that we shouldn't have a million H-1B visas. I think it's a huge problem. But I also think that America's fixation around aesthetics and the way people look and the celebrity culture and not caring about people that are, it's like the Magellan thing. That Alex Jones, well, Magellan was a lot cooler than Justin freaking Bieber. Circumnavigated the entire globe. He's right. It's true. It is. So I don't think he necessarily was wrong for saying it, but it's an...
I'm guessing Asmongold is just pro Nick Fuentes, because Nick Fuentes is a memester, right? Like, he's a person with an agenda, but he's also a memester. That is Nick Fuentes, okay? So for anybody who does the whole like, oh, like irony poison thing where they just go like, oh my God, I'm so irony poison. I'm so irony poison. For anybody who does something like that, I think he'll always be on board with somebody who's like that. You know what I mean?
Sense of right message, wrong messenger. And I think it was a racial reason. It was. And I'm not defending why people were mad, but I'm just saying that this is very clearly what happened. And at the time, I even defended Vivek, but I could see why people were angry. People see somebody like Vivek come to America, and this person is seen as an outsider, right? He is. He is seen as an outsider, whether he's, you want to assume he's an American or not, you can't deny there's a tremendous amount of people that don't really see him as an American in the same way that they might see a whiter, like an African American person as an American. And basically what I think has happened is that him coming out and criticizing it hit a lot different than if it was like, let's say me or Tucker Carlson that said it, because let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's because we're white guys and we've probably been in the country for fucking 400 years. And so there's a degree of implicit.
True. He's spitting. Yeah, that's right.
I think trust that happens. He's an outsider. He was born in America. I'm not discussing the validity of this. I'm discussing the actuality of this. I'm not arguing with you. Like I said, I agreed with Vivek. I'm just saying that this is a very clear sentiment that a lot of people have.
Oh man.
Hitler was pretty fucking cool. You have no place in the future of the conservative movement.
So the reason why, and this is something that I don't know if I'm giving away the game here, right? But this is the reason why there's been such a big advocacy to make Hitler not seen as like a bad person, is people view Hitler as the final seal of unlocking white identity politics.
Oh no. Okay, never mind. I would like to take it back. Oh God, guys, I'm not ready for this. I think I forgot to put the baby oil on. I don't think I'd like taking it rough.
They see the acceptance of allowing, people to like be positive about Hitler to be allowing white people to see themselves as the ultimate boss. Yeah, right. And like if you break that final seal, you can unlock white identity politics. It's like a Horcrux, right? For like.
Wait, what? So wait, what? So downplaying Nick Fuentes as a white person is like a litmus test to enter the conservative movement by proving that you're not into identity politics? What? I'm not even sure if Nick Fuentes said this. What the fuck?
Voldemort, that's the final one. And that's it. So they're not being honest, right? It's a legitimate, it's twisted logic. It's twisted, like call it whatever you want. But that's the reason why it's so important for people like that. And you can see also this in action with the amount of people's support and believing of the Holocaust, for example, is that based off of racial lines, there's a tremendous difference between the way that white people view the Holocaust and the way that other minorities view the Holocaust. This is just evidently true. You can look at any poll. So that's really why. And people might not understand that because I don't think that they ever really tried to, oh my God, so stupid. Well, if I'm saying something that sounds just so incredibly stupid. What the fuck are you talking about? This is the most retarded thing I've ever heard. This is so dumb. There's no way people are this stupid. You can rest assured that I'm telling you the truth. That is when you know that we are dealing with reality. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yes, Stalin killed 60 million Russians. Someone talks about it. All I'm saying is that basically there's a tremendous amount of white guilt that comes from Hitler, and I think this is like in a way I think it's
There's a tremendous amount of white guilt that comes from Hitler. You realize Jews are also white, right? Like you realize Jewish people are white, right? I don't think it was solely about white guilt when it comes to Hitler because he killed other white people. He was primarily targeting another group of what we consider to be white people today, right? They were being targeted based off of that. I mean, again, this is just simply not true, okay? Hitler targeted Jewish people who were not brown, they were not black, right? It's just weird. I mean, yeah, Hitler also genocided like brown people, I'm sure, but it's not about like the skin color in that way. It's about anti-Semitism, right? Wow, holy shit. I thought that Asmongold was tapping out his anti-Semitism when he said that Ben Shapiro was an agent of Israel or some shit, or working for Israel, right? But this is shocking.
Placed, right? Because it's just Germany, really. It's Germany had this crazy asshole and he's gone, right? But like, I think that's the reason.
By the way, calling Hitler an asshole is downplaying him, okay? Just FYI. I don't think he's just an asshole, all right? Calling him an asshole is... Yeah, I'm not sure if calling him an asshole is the right move.
Why people are so... That's the reason why a lot of these like white identity people are so strongly advocating for making Hitler and normalizing being positive about Hitler. Do you guys see my point about this?
No, I don't. What?
I don't think anybody sees this bigger picture, but that's the bigger picture.
No, wait,
I don't see anybody talking about this either.
Ow!
There's more to it, actually. I'm sure I'm giving an abbreviated version.
Debate foreign aid to Israel all you want. That's fine. That's fair. But you have no place with that level of hatred. You can debate the right resolution of the Russia-Ukraine war, but if you believe Joseph Stalin is someone to look up to, you have no place in the future of the conservative movement. If you call Usha Vance the second lady of the United States of America, you have no place in the future of the conservative movement.
Yeah, I think I think it's destructive. What it's doing is it's like basically this type of identity politics is kind of, I think, what poisoned the Democrat Party. And if they continue focusing on racial identity and stuff like this, I think that it will alienate too many people and they'll lose political power. Even if you agree with it and you think it should be America for white people, you have to acknowledge that this really isn't a very good democratic position to have. There's too many people that disagree with it.
And if you can't say those things without stuttering, then you have no place as a leader at any level in the conservative movement either. Certainly not in my state of...
The problem that Vivek has is that I think that all forms of gatekeeping are falling apart. All forms of approval are just completely collapsed. And at this point, Nobody gets to decide who's part of the movement other than the movement itself. It doesn't matter if all of these people come up and they...
So is it just like never good to gatekeep? Like, I thought the entire criticism about the Democratic Party is that they're letting in too many leftists. I thought that was the critique on the Democratic Party, is that they're letting in too many leftists, right? I don't even think Asmongold believes in this. I fundamentally don't even believe Asmongold believes in this, because if you ask Asmongold, right, like, hey, do you think that we should be gatekeeping leftists outside, like out of the Democratic Party? What, like, he'll probably say yes. He'll say that it's not good for the liberals to have these lefties, these communists, as a part of the Democratic Party, right? He'll probably say something like that. I don't think he believes in this. I fundamentally don't think he believes in this. He's not thinking about this. Yeah. It's like not moderating your community. Yeah. He says like, oh, the era of gatekeeping is over. Wait, so it's okay to have Hassan in the Democratic Party now? That doesn't make sense, right? But yeah.
Criticize the same person. If anything, that's just going to make that person look better. Gates aren't invincible? Yes, you're right.
Ohio.
That's sort of the opposite of what he's doing. He's saying that, what's this? You're saying that any discrimination makes...
And he opens up another soda. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. This guy's like falling apart at the seams. Bro's bones are barely holding it together. It's like, he's literally like one of these laboratory skeletons in med school in order to teach people about like the parts of the body.
You're not part of the movement?
Holy shit.
Well, I'm talking about... Well, he's talking
like bro is looking more and more like one of these hags from Witcher 3. Holy shit.
Racial discrimination. And what I'm talking about is identity and value discrimination. Like, these are two very different things. You know, this guy made money selling World of Warcraft gold back in the day? Oh yeah, there he is.
Now, Ben Shapiro sat up here last night.
I gotta turn it up. Apologies. Give me a minute.
It's all about the truth. Ben, I known you a long time. Now, Ben Shapiro sat up here.
Call him Benji.
Last night.
Call him Benji.
He was all,
Is that
it's all about the truth.
That's
Ben, I known you a long time, brother. You can't handle the truth.
Honestly, I think Steve's right. This is Steve Bannon. He's right. I don't think Ben realizes how profoundly...
I like Steve Bannon, but not in the way that his followers probably like him. I like him because he clearly states exactly what the conservatives are going to do to like try to cause like a fascist takeover of the country, okay? Like he literally lays it out in front of you, and it's your fault if you don't listen, right? Like I like Bannon only in that sense, in the sense of like he clearly lays out like what the Conservative Party is going to be doing, and they follow every single thing that he talks about, right? Like this guy, I mean, again, it's not that he's correctly predicting things, it's that these are all the like logical steps to take in order to seize power over a democratic government, right? Like in order to turn a democratic, like he's like he's a fascistic strategist, right? He's trying to, but you know.
Unpopular his values are.
Also, I don't think Asmongold has still reacted to Conduit's video. I don't think he ever will, because it's such a detailed, it's such a detailed, look into Asmongold. I don't think Asmongold can take it. Okay, I legitimately don't think Asmongold will have the wherewithal to take it. I don't think he'll be like, you know what, spitting facts. Okay, but
I don't think he does.
Yeah, because there's no way. It breaks down his character so well. You know? Yeah.
Let's face it, Ben Shapiro is the farthest thing from MAGA. Let's be blunt.
Damn.
He is a hardcore never Trump.
It kind of is. I will concede on that front at the very least. I kind of do think that Ben Shapiro is like he doesn't represent MAGA well. MAGA is way crazier than Ben Shapiro. Okay, however crazy you think Ben Shapiro is, it doesn't even come close. It doesn't even come close. Okay, to like the insanity of MAGA. All right.
Yeah. He's a hardcore never Trumper. In the spring of 16, he tried to upend Breitbart. He walked off the job, made a big deal.
Also, yeah, like look at Asmongold. He's not well. Like this is a guy who looks like he's in his mid 40s, right? Like let's be real here. He looks like a guy who's in his mid 40s, right?
About some incident in Mar-a-Lago with Corey.
Like I've seen 40-year-olds in better condition than him.
He tried to turn it to Ted Cruz from Donald Trump because he hated Donald Trump.
Who does Ted Cruz support and go to work for to make sure that he works in their best interest every day? What entity does Ted Cruz do that for?
Oh yeah, I'll say this again, okay? He makes fun of fat people a lot, but honestly, like, I think somebody who is like slightly overweight is probably healthier than Asmongold. Unironically, okay? Like, what is healthier? Somebody who is slightly overweight, so therefore, you know, their body is going to sustain some degree of like they have higher chance of diabetes, heart disease, all of these, cancer, all these diseases, right? But just a little bit. It's just a little bit higher, okay? Down the line, right? And let's just say that they don't gain any more weight than that. They're just always staying at like a constant overweight status, a little bit overweight, right? That's me, by the way, okay? I think I'm healthier than Asmongold by far. It's not even close. If your entire diet is like made out of like potato chips and like soda and all this shit, like I don't think he's healthy. You know, like that's it.
Somebody in chat said Canada. It's in fact not Canada, but it's Israel. You were close.
He probably will become more ill from all the mold in his house. Yeah, that too, right? Yeah.
In the general election, he barely...
I had to sit there and wait because...
Unfortunate thing is that Asmongold is very likely to have cancer, given both his parents had it. Did you say unfortunate? Sorry, I shouldn't have spoken.
Everybody knows it's Israel. I had to sit there and wait for like 2 seconds for one person to give a stupid answer. Like,
I didn't say that. I disavow. Oh, okay.
Everybody knew what it was.
Supported Donald Trump. The first sign of when President Trump gets sent back to Mar-a-Lago, the very first individual that jumped on the Ron DeSantis train, the Israel First train, was Ben Shapiro.
Damn.
And those are the darkest days we had.
Traitor.
That was right after January 6th.
21 and 22, you guys were there. He's consistently been against Trump, and now that President Trump doesn't back the Greater Israel Project. What is Greater Israel? It's not about Israel itself. It's about an expansionist Israel, an imperial Israel that Netanyahu and that crowd have thought up. And the Israel First crowd is Ben Shapiro, Tel Aviv Mark Levin, and many others.
Mark Levin is the, you remember him, he's the fat, bald retard. We all remember Mark Levin? Yes.
That want to put that ahead of America's interests.
Which one? It's one of them. And so it doesn't narrow it down? Yeah, I guess so. And let's see here. Oh, here's another one.
Do you sport Foodshops? Because apparently Asmongold likes to walk. No, I don't. I just diet.
Shapiro is like a cancer, and that Shapiro is like a cancer, and that cancer spreads.
Damn.
Jesus.
It's a cancer.
That's what
and it
Asmongold's going to get.
He tried to take over Breitbart, and I ran him out of there. He tried to take over David Horowitz, who was his mentor. Don't ask me. It's the guys associated with David Horowitz, what he did there. He tried to take that over. And mark my word, he will make a move on Turning Point because he's...
Who will Israel turn to if the left and right are united in their hatred? Well, you have to keep in mind that the populist right are still generally right now pro-Israel. Like, I don't think that's changed too much. I don't like for example, Trump is still extremely pro-Israel, and he's probably going to stay that way until the end of his life. But like once newer conservatives take over the party, like right now Nick Fuentes is trying to do a party takeover, and Asmongold is trying to push his propaganda. Like once that starts to happen, then yeah, I'm gonna I think that we're gonna see like a lot of cutting of support from Israel once that gains more momentum. But who knows? I think for now, like Israel is probably gonna benefit for the next like 50 years.
Always been envious of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Like he's making it personal too. So anyway, and I'll go back. We're gonna look at the Ben Shapiro response, but before I actually, what? Let's watch this right here.
Oh shit, he looks at both.
So somebody asked about the USS Liberty.
We don't have to switch to it.
The USS Liberty was a ship. I don't know all.
Oh no, I don't know what the USS Liberty conspiracy theory is, but I wouldn't be surprised if Asmongold signed on to that one. That one is like a really big, like a very big core conspiracy theory thing. Yeah, the USS Liberty conspiracies. Yeah. So, something about teleporting ships and something about secret military experiments about teleporting ships where a bunch of people just randomly disappeared out of nowhere, and it's like a mystery or some shit. But it would be a mystery if it weren't for the fact that like it's essentially been weaponized as like a far right like anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. But yeah,
the details about this, but it was a ship that Israel attacked, basically.
You cited during your
oh my god,
as the most important tenet.
All right, so he's just straight up saying it. Jesus.
Of American conservatism. Why therefore
Jesus.
did you call irrelevant the Israeli attack in 1967 on the USS Liberty, which left dozens of American servicemen dead and hundreds wounded?
Somebody's having a bad time. Somebody's having a very bad time.
So what I actually said is that if we're looking at modern Israeli-American relations, looking at an attack that happened mistakenly by multiple Navy reports, multiple Israeli reports, and all available evidence, and using that attack in order to undermine today's relations between Israel and America, that's irrelevant.
So how can you use that attack to undermine Israel's relations with America, but you also use the Holocaust to bolster Israel's relations with America, and it happened even farther beyond that? I think this is an example of having your cake and eating it too. You want this collective guilt to continue, building goodwill for Israel.
Man, this guy's
these
nuts.
things that Israel did in the past that were somehow problematic. Well, that was a long time ago. It doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? Holocaust was not a mistake. It was still in the past. It's also a fucking mistake. And the other thing, too, is that you've got to remember that America came over and stopped the Holocaust. We ended up helping Europe win the fucking war along with the
Yeah, but the reason why we joined the war isn't because we wanted to help the Jews, okay? And I think that this is a part of history that everybody needs to remember, okay? It isn't that we decided that it would be a good faith effort to liberate another country from, like, their genocidal tendencies. It's because it's because of Pearl Harbor. It's solely because of Pearl Harbor, okay? In addition to rising tensions. That's it, okay? Which is why we also concentrated on Japan a lot as well. Yeah, sure. Like one of the most important byproducts is freeing the concentration camps one by one as like the troops were marching through, right? And then there's a bunch of like Jews just waiting for the war to end as like they're sweeping the country. But at the same time, you need to keep in mind that the United States also turned away Jews when Jews were trying to escape Germany or trying to escape Europe in general, actually, as well. And the United States just turned away Jews because they were inconvenient, before they joined. All right. So, let's not get this part wrong. Okay. Yeah. He thinks that because he's basically Fuentes cocksleeve at this point. Yeah. Yeah. Like, Asmongold is doing all the free advertisement that, Nicholas Fuentes doesn't even need to. Like, Asmongold is able to package an extremely far-right, fascistic, anti-Semitic position into something more tangible, easier to understand for people who are not engaged in politics, right? Like, the crowd that gets his videos are like the gamer crowd, okay? Like gamer boys, okay? Like young gamer boys in their like early 20s or mid 20s, or in their late, or they're like 18, 19 or teenager years, okay? Like that is the crowd of people who are getting his videos. Like they'll probably play Call of Duty or something. They'll search up some guide on how to complete a level or something, and then boom, they get recommended an Asmongold video. And then that is the pipeline to becoming a groyper, right? That is why like Asmongold is like one of the most important propaganda machines that Fuentes has at the moment, because Fuentes is certainly banned and not allowed on YouTube. But in order to circumvent that, Asmongold is here to package that into a selling deal, right? Which is why like Asmongold is so dangerous, is because like you can wonder for yourself, okay, isn't Hassan packaging Marxism and leftism and genocidal like and holocaustic shit into like the Democratic Party? You'll be correct, except that Asmongold is doing the same thing, right? He is also packaging pro-genocide rhetoric, downplaying Hitler, downplaying talk of Hitler, I guess as well, into people who are otherwise not engaged with politics. People who are like these gamer bros and these Call of Duty people, they're not going to see Hassan. Hassan is not gaining any traction in the YouTube algorithm. The reason why Hassan is dangerous only because he gets exposure to a lot of liberal podcasts, and he presents himself as a liberal deliberately as a way to lie about it, right? But the reason why Asmongold is dangerous is because he's affecting a lot more people than that, right? How many people do you think are listening to NPR? How many younger people who are not engaged in politics are listening to NPR? Not very many, right? Not very many people are listening to NPR. They're not reading articles. They're not doing any of that. Do you know what they're doing? They're playing video games. They're searching up guides. They're doing things that young people these days do, right? So what they're going to do is that they're going to come across Asmongold sooner or later, and they're going to agree with him, okay? So even though, and you have to keep in, there's another reason why Hassan is less dangerous than Asmongold, or should I say Asmongold is more dangerous than Hassan, is that Hassan is radicalizing people into becoming nihilistic losers, okay? Nihilistic pro-Palestinian losers, okay? These people eventually, down the line, pro-Palestine, that the support for that will die down, okay? It's already died down from when the elections were going along, okay? But at some point, you know what? It's not going to be as intense as it used to be, all right? So what you're going to have is that they're going to become nihilists and not vote. They're going to vote for a third party, okay? Or they're going to vote for Trump, or they're going to vote for MAGA again, all right? Or when Trump is not around. So keep in mind that Hassan's fans is more divided up depending on where they're going to vote in comparison to Asmongold. But for Asmongold, no, he's just straight up telling them to vote Republican. Falling in line. He's encouraging everybody to fall in line. He's encouraging everybody to vote Republican. And he's like downplaying anti-Semitic rhetoric, right? So he's trying to turn the next generation of youth into the Hitler youth. He's trying to turn them into people who absolutely despise Jewish people, okay? So, just watch out, okay? Because, for the next 20 years, I think Jews are going to have it extremely rough in the United States. Honestly, and honestly, 70% of the credit goes to people like Asmongold. Asmongold, the 30% of it goes to leftists. Yeah, 30% of the anti-Semitic, like horrible actions go to leftists, but 70% of it goes to people like Asmongold. Not Asmongold specifically, sorry. It goes to right-wing people who prop up anti-Semitic rhetoric. I'm willing to put my money on that. 70-30, 70-30, okay? So anytime anybody focuses too much on Hassan's anti-Semitism, I appreciate you, okay? But that's part of the battle, okay? I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying if you cover only Hassan, but you don't cover any of the right-wing anti-Semitism or like the downplaying of rhetoric that's going on, then I think you're missing the big picture. And you're too hyper-focused because we are always more prone to people who represent our side. Right? We are always more hypercritical of people who represent our side. So we have a bias against Hassan because we believe that we need a better representation, right? So I understand where that is coming from, okay? And you're right to do that. However, that shouldn't be the only thing that you do, okay? You shouldn't only be focusing on leftists, all right? You need to focus on people like Asmongold, all right? Because it's people like Asmongold that do contribute to that 70%, okay? So Fuentes has his hand up Asmongold's butt like a puppet. Yeah, he's mitt. Okay, he's like a oven mitt. All right, he's the Asmongold is the oven mitt in which Fuentes is using to bake the cookies. All right. So, yeah, that's what's going on.
Fucking Soviets against Nazi Germany.
This is blatant Danphobia. You'll be correct. I am also talking about Dan Saltman, and I'm talking about Ethan Klein. People who focus too much on Hassan. And honestly, Hassan does deserve attention. Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm going to repeat this for the 50th time. Okay, Hassan is dangerous. All right. So just in case anybody thinks I'm downplaying Hassan, I'm not. Okay. But it's just Asmongold is more dangerous. I truly do believe this. Like, I've thought about this again and again. I'm like, okay, am I crazy? Am I overstretching it? Am I being too paranoid? Am I being a little bit too weird? And I'm like, nah, I think I'm right. Okay. Like, I've thought about it again and again. I'm like, okay, it's like, there's no way, right? But yeah, but I think I'm right on this.
As relevant as it would be to cite a piece of evidence from World War II or from 1776 to define America's relations with, for example,
if you think that World War II and the collective guilt of the Holocaust is not a massive, massive factor for people's unconditional support of Israel, you are fucking delusional. It is absolutely a huge factor.
Britain or Germany today. That does not mean that the attack wasn't horrible for the Americans involved, that it wasn't bloody and terrible. The Israeli government paid reparations to the people who were killed. If you look at the actual military record of what happened on the USS Liberty, it was clearly a mistaken and tragic attack. The people who frequently cite
didn't Ben Shapiro didn't he criticize even Germany's reparations for the Holocaust because it said that, oh well, if this happened it could allow them to buy their way out of the guilt. I remember reading something or seeing something about, stop cutting him off. Yeah, okay, I apologize. Let me let it play out.
The USS Liberty, however, are not talking about the specifics of the USS Liberty. I suspect that the vast majority of people who bring this up are doing so in order to suggest that Israel deliberately attacked an American ship because Israel deliberately wants to harm America. It is connected generally with a larger point. I wonder if that's your point.
I want to clarify as well, like the reason why I'm defending Israel here, okay, or why I'm defending whatever, isn't because I think Israel is such a great country and blah 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 blah, right? It's because people really misrepresent the situation, okay? I think that Israel is doing a lot of harm right now, okay? I think that they are completely off the rocker and people like Trump enables Israel to do whatever they want, okay? I do actually think that Bibi Netanyahu does actually, unironically, over-weaponize the language of the Holocaust, right? Like citing the Holocaust as a reason, okay? But there's a time and a place for that kind of discussion. There's a time and a place for that kind of shit, okay? To discuss things like that, okay? Whether or not we're over-weaponizing things. However, all right, people who discuss stuff like that are from Fuentes' end of things, they're probably not saying that in good faith, okay? They're probably saying that because they genuinely do want to defend Hitler. Not because they think that there is an acceptable place for Israel to exist in this world and there's an acceptable place to have all of that. No. Keep in mind, Fuentes probably supports what Hassan supports, okay? Bringing down the walls of Israel and letting Hamas take over, okay? That's probably Fuentes' real position, okay? Fuentes' real position is letting Hamas take over, unironically, probably, okay? So, again, it's not for the same reason,
I don't
okay?
think
It's identical to Hassan,
Israel
right?
wants to harm America. Yeah. I think that Israel wants America to act in its best interest. Israel is not malicious. They're just simply opportunistic.
By the way, okay, this is really good propaganda, okay? This is a study in really good propaganda, all right? If you go on and you say that Israel is fundamentally the most evil country in the world, you're not going to convince anybody, okay? You're not going to convince anybody if you say that, oh, Israel the most evil country in the world and they deserve all the hate, blah, 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 right? Or whatever, right? You're not going to convince anybody if you do that, all right? The only way for you to push people in a more anti-Semitic position is by implying that Israel is not evil, but they're opportunistic and they're like bad in that way. There is still a negative connotation. Notice how it isn't putting Israel in a neutral light, right? Like you're not just saying, oh, Israel is just simply defending itself. Israel is just simply like doing what every single other country would do, right? Or whatever. That is more neutral than whatever. I mean, that's still not entirely neutral, but that is more neutral than whatever Asmongold is currently painting it as, right? The way that Asmongold is talking about it is, oh, they're opportunistic. What does that mean? It means that they're going to take advantage of you. They're going to manipulate you. And whether or not you believe in the truth of that does not matter. It's just a way that he presents it, right? It's a better way for him to say Israel is evil without actually saying Israel is evil, okay? And in that sense, I think that in that sense, I think that Asmongold does legitimately better anti-Israel propaganda than Hassan. Does that make sense, guys? I mean, this might sound like a hot take, but I do believe in this. I truly believe that Asmongold right now in this video unironically does better anti-Israel propaganda than Hassan. And it's not close, okay? Hassan, he just turns people off. Nobody wants to watch him, okay? This screamer Andy, he's a locale, all right? He's somebody who off-puts like normies. But Asmongold's special skill here is that he knows how to talk to people who are not engaged with politics. He knows how to joke and meme his way, no matter how hard, he tries to fake his laughter, right? He fakes his laughter or he genuinely laughs in order to appeal to the normie and in order to talk about these in these things in this way, right? But everything he's saying is mask on because Asmongold unironically browses 4chan's poll threads. So he unironically browses poll, right? That place is just full neo-Nazi, all right? He knows what he's doing, okay? He is basically adopting the same exact strategy as Nick Fuentes, all right? This new version of Asmongold, all right? Because there are some Asmongold viewers in my comments who talk about, oh, well, this has always been the same old Asmongold. No, this new version of Asmongold is diabolical. Yeah, this new version of Asmongold is dangerous, okay? Yeah.
Matters. Then the Israeli government must
You're going to get some pauses, just not as many.
That attack.
Just
the American flag was flying on that ship. You do not mistake an American ship for a foreign one when our flag is flying.
So, we can spend the rest of the time talking about the specifics of the U.S. Liberty attack, or you can actually go look at the naval investigations that were done, multiple naval investigations that were done. The reality is that people were flying Mirage planes for the Israeli military at the time. The USS Liberty was sailing in an area where it had essentially gone off-grid. The Israeli military mistook it for an Egyptian ship. They thought it was shelling Al Arish, which happened not to be true. In the initial attack, the American flag was knocked down, and then the attack went on for about 90 minutes. And then, you can hear this, by the way, on the tapes of the Israeli pilots talking to each other. As soon as they realize that it's an American ship, they call off the attack, they speed.
Wait, hold on. Was the US was that the same ship where they were trying to fly the flag in order to signal to them, and it was a bunch of pilots like flying a plane, like they flew planes to shoot at like naval vessels or some shit. Was that the same one? Does anybody know? Oh shit, I think I've already seen a video on this before. If so, but yeah, like that is a crazy. To be fair, okay, if that is what I'm thinking about, that was an absolutely wild story. Okay, and yeah, it's a very tragic one as well. Yeah, if that is what I was thinking about, where a fucking Air Force brigade attacked American naval vessels, and it was this absolutely horrific slaughter of Americans by other Americans by accident. Yeah, that sounds like the most scuffed retelling, but yes, okay. Yeah,
a ship to try and help the USS Liberty. There have been multiple.
Basically, it was everything that could go wrong has went wrong. Does that make sense? Like everything that could go wrong has went wrong. No, it was Israelis attacking Americans. Wait, really? I'm pretty sure it was during World War II, right? No, wait, hold on. Are you talking about like after World War? Wait, this happened after World War II, right? Holy shit! No, never mind. I'm thinking of another scenario. My bad. I'm thinking of something else.
Well, unfortunate friendly fire incidents between Allied forces, including, for example, in the Gulf War, where U.S. forces were responsible for killing about 9 British troops during the Gulf War. It's an unfortunate reality of war, but you're not answering my question, which is, what is your broader agenda in asking the question? Because I suspect that your question is not limited to your specific ire over an incident that happened in 1967.
Ben is right that he's not asking the question because of the USS Liberty. He's using that as a signal point to show that Israel does not have America's best interests in mind. It's obvious.
I think we should question any foreign country's relationship with our government.
That's totally fine, but I'm just wondering why you
serve American interests.
Again, I'm perfectly fine with questioning any country's relationship with the United States. But again, I'm wondering what your motivation is in bringing up a 6-decade-old attack as though it is the #1 issue in assessing the relationship between Israel and the United States today.
Well, many problems persist to this day, but it's interesting that you say 6-decade-old incident when there are many people in this audience who are alive for that attack, as if this is something that's irrelevant.
Well, no, it's just not particularly relevant to assess.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, 60 years ago isn't really that long.
The relationship between the United States and Israel today, in the same way that in 1967 there are a wide variety of countries with which the United States had different relations. Okay, it's clear.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Why would any other country? Why would any other country have U.S. interests, best interests in mind? They shouldn't, which is why we shouldn't view them as we should view them as a foreign nation, the same as we view everything else as a foreign nation. That's the difference.
But do alliances not matter anymore? Does like the word not matter? Like why? Okay, wait, hold on. So why do you think Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons in the Budapest Memorandum? It's because there has to be some semblance of trust between specific nations, right? Like not everything is just like dog world, right? Like not everything is like, oh, strength is superior. Otherwise we're returning to like medieval periods. And even during medieval periods it wasn't like this, right? Like even during medieval times, like it was nothing like this. Even then they had alliances. Even then they had trust between different nations. Even then they had trust between different monarchies and different like fucking countries and shit, right? Not everything is as black or white as you're purporting it to be. And it would be we wouldn't have the world today if things were as black and white as Asmongold is purporting it to be. We just straight up wouldn't, right? Like, what is the point? Like, how did the United States become the most powerful country in the world? It's because of soft power, okay? It isn't because the United States went around conquering literally everybody, right? Like the Romans did, right? The Romans became the #1 superpower back then because they went around conquering everybody, right? They didn't care all that much about forming alliances. They just like went like, okay, well, we're going to conquer your land and make that a part of the Roman Empire, right? That's the reason why the United States right now is powerful. Isn't because they did the same thing the Romans did. It's because they are oftentimes trying to expand their influence through aid, through helping other nations, through funding other nations. It happens all the time. Yeah. I'm surprised Asmongold hasn't invited Nick yet. After watching Rogan normalize Nick isn't going away anytime soon. I think it's gonna happen soon. I think it's gonna happen soon. If it's not gonna happen now, then it's gonna happen later. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, I definitely see the Nick Asmongold bridge being a thing demonstrated on stream, not just like hidden behind the scenes.
And so I have no problem with that, but I think there's also like more to it than this. 6 decades old is irrelevant, but the Holocaust, which is older than 6 decades, is relevant. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what's going on here. Give me 1 second. I think there was a couple more of these here. Oh.
Yes, the #1 search engine, x.com.
Let me see what.
Asmongold is a groiper. Yeah, that's old news at this point.
It's a long one. I don't want to watch a long one. Let me go and see if I can find any more of these here.
Yes.
With Tucker Carlson. Oh, here we go.
It's the job of those of us who try to shape public opinion to hold politicians to account and to hold them accountable to our values. We must not let fear of audience deter us from telling the truth. We must not let fear of other hosts deter us from telling the truth. So, for example, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Oh boy, give me a minute. I gotta use the bathroom. This is gonna be good. And again, there's definitely an implied consent, isn't there? Okay.
Hello, Steven mentioned, Steven name drop.
Candace Owens.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk,
I'm very mature.
At TPUSA, and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash, implicating everyone from French.
The best thing, what I find to be so funny about this is that I actually do think in some of these points, Ben does have the clear and very defined moral upper hand. He does. And Ben is right. But I think that the Israel issue is so overpowered. It's so strong that literally nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. And it's also about the way he talks. No, he doesn't. I think it's very problematic what Candace has been doing. I do. I think it's very problematic. But like, I mean, again.
Nick Fuentes does Nick Fuentes like Candace Owens? Like, as in, do they have an ally? Oh, no, okay, they don't like it. Okay, gotcha, yeah. Because right now they are contesting for the top seat. Yeah, they're contesting for the top seat commentator position right now.
It's her right to do it.
I would say so.
Can you check the video quality?
Like, people like Tim Pool has just fallen off. Like, Tim Pool is irrelevant. Yeah, Tim Pool is just, like, straight up irrelevant right now. Like, he does not matter. He does not matter as a person. He does not, yeah. Ben Shapiro is also no match for any of these guys. The only person who is a match is, like, like the two most right-wing people, who is Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, okay? But yeah, they beefed recently. I'm pretty sure even recently, Nick Fuentes has said that Candace Owens has a crush on me, which is like an ongoing joke that him and his audience says and spreads, right? Even though it's just straight up not true. But also, what else? Nick burned his bridge with Candace. He called her a crazy woman and felt she ambushed him when he was on her show. You know, Nick will say a lot of people ambushed him whenever he doesn't do a good like debate performance. Like, I'm sure he also talks about how Piers Morgan has ambushed him. But you know, you know what I call that? I call that a skill issue. Okay, I think you should know better now at this point on how to conduct interviews that, like, especially by people like Piers Morgan. Like, this guy's a clipper. Okay, this guy's gonna play clips. You better have like good explanations for every single one of these and be consistent. I think that Piers Morgan showing did not look good in any way whatsoever. I think that Asmongold is like sweating at the seams. Okay, when he probably saw that like Nick Fuentes was doing horribly. When he watched that, he was probably thinking like, "Oh fuck, Nick, no." Yeah.
No.
Intelligence to Mossad, to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder, or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name.
Nope. Nope.
Erica Kirk and TPUSA never should have been put in the position to have to defend themselves against such specious and evil attacks, particularly in a time of mourning.
Well, what about, I mean, like, I'm gonna be real, like, I said this earlier, but bro, the 5 stages of grief was meant to be a metaphor. She's going out there and doing all these performances and everything, doing this, like, oh my God. Really? Really? I mean, you gotta at least know that it's a bad idea, right? Like, I mean, even if you think it's the same as like Trump, right? Whenever Trump said that
Oh, wait, no, I don't know if he made this joke on purpose. I'm not sure if he has made that joke on purpose. The 5 stages of grief, like a literal stage, like where you perform. It's a good one, okay? That's a good one. That is actually one of the smarter Asmongold jokes if he made that joke. But I don't think he made that joke. But I was the one that was able to draw that connection. But,
shit about that Hollywood guy that got killed. It's like, you got to have some
stage
awareness
of grief.
that
Okay,
whenever
gotcha.
some guy gets killed and you're like, yeah, but he didn't like me, so he was crazy, and yeah, it is what it is. That's too bad. That's what happens when you don't like me. Like, you've got to have some level of self-awareness that you're just kicking yourself in the dick. Nobody's going to agree. There are a lot of opinions. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of opinions I have that I don't share because I know everybody's
I know that.
gonna think I'm nuts. So you should just stop doing it. Stop saying it.
Don't worry, okay? We all know what your opinions are.
I don't know what this is.
He stole that joke from Reddit? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. I thought that one day he might be smart enough to make his own jokes. I guess not.
And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice.
Never mind.
Yes,
I had hope. It's gone now.
The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense into the public square for years is just as cowardly.
Ben Shapiro is arguing for censorship, not argument. That's the reason why I think that his perspective on these things isn't going very well, is because he's not arguing that, you know, she's wrong necessarily. He's arguing that people shouldn't talk to her. And this is the same with Nick. That's the main thing that's happening. He was bullied in high school. I don't know. I have no idea. College didn't admit the USS Liberty was a mistake. I mean, I don't know whether, I mean, I think that it's very clear that the person asking that is, you know, let me see if there's any more about the stuff from Tucker Carlson or anything else. This is what moral clarity looks like.
Okay. So his 2 sources, Tucker Carlson and X.com search bar.
And so a lot of people are very positive about it, but, you know, at least from his own people. Oh, here we go.
Thank you very much.
Man.
That's a lot of people there. Holy shit. I didn't know this was so big.
Thank you. Walking out is always such a trip at these things. I just got here, and I feel like I missed the first part of the program. Hope I didn't miss anything meaningful. But I just want to say, I don't think I did.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I watched it. I laughed. That kind of bitter, sardonic laugh that emerges from you when, like, Upside Down World arrives. When your dog starts doing your tax.
I like how Asmongold admits he has masked on. Yeah, that's actually bad. That's bad if people are listening to him and he admits that he has mask on, right? It just means that the people who don't think he's problematic is really missing it. And the people who are listening to him right now knows that he has more extreme positions, but they're just okay with him having more extreme positions, right? It's not an indicator that there is something good that's happening, right? It's an indicator that something horrible is happening. But
and you're like, wait, it's not supposed to work this way. To hear calls for, like, deplatforming and denouncing people at a Charlie Kirk event, I'm like, what?
Yep.
This is hilarious. Yeah, this is hilarious. Actually, one of the clips I was listening to myself thinking as I often do,
mad.
hear myself speak, which is never, because I never watch myself, but at these events I play like the role of you. And
on lips.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We don't see ourselves clearly. But the prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, it's a noun. Don't steal.
I like this. Yes, the entire concept of platforming this is ridiculous. I think that the only things that you shouldn't be platforming are threats and doxing. Other than that, go ahead.
Yeah, but then Asmongold platforms these, right? But then Asmongold is the one that also platforms these, so...
Announce, deplatform, and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole, Red Guard cultural revolution thing that we so hated and feared on the left that we did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's public life.
Yeah.
And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot about it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted in part to arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here, which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer, and was immediately put under just immense pressure from people who give money to Turning Point. I would assume good
people. I mean, I'm not going to say the country of the people that they're from, or, it's just people. I'm sure some of them are good people. They apparently give money to the organization. I mean, there were just certain people, I'm not going to say the race of the doctor.
People, but who wanted him to take me off the roster. And this has all become public, and the whole thing is so sad that I...
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, guys, okay? I'm sure Asmongold is on the Jews' side, okay? Don't worry, guys, Copium. Don't worry, Copium, okay? Asmongold, listen, you don't understand. Asmongold is anti-Hassan, okay? He's anti-Hassan. Guys. Asmongold is anti-Hassan, okay? That means he's on our side, okay? Don't you understand? As long as somebody from the far right is anti-Hassan, he's on our side, okay? Just ignore, like everything that he said up until now, like this entire 35 minutes or so. Jesus.
Except to say, Charlie stood firm in his often stated and deeply held belief that people should be able to debate, and that if you have something valid to say, if you're telling the truth, you ought to be able to explain it calmly.
And if you're lying, you got to be able to explain that too, because there's plenty of lying retards out there. You got to deal with them.
And in detail to people who don't agree with you, and that you shouldn't immediately resort to shut up racist.
Exactly. He's right. That shit does not work anymore. It is over. It's done. It's finished. Here we go.
God, he is so corny, dude. The era of gatekeeping is over. The era of telling people shut up racist is over. Bro, these were never eras in the first place. Also, if a leftist wanted, let's just say a liberal, okay? Let's just say Hassan, let's just say a liberal wanted to join the Groyper movement, okay? Somebody who is very much pro-Jew, pro-Israel. Don't you want to gatekeep that person from the movement? Is there really no function to gatekeeping that person from the movement? I don't, again, this is why I don't think Asmongold actually believes this, is because, you would 100% allow, 100% you would gatekeep the Groyper movement from, people who are pro-Israel or pro-Jew, right? 100%. It's not even close.
See, we had the, you guys saw how I structured this, right? We had the moderate disagreeers, and then we had Ben Shapiro, and then we had Tucker Carlson, who was a little bit less moderate. And now we're going to have Candace Owens, and guess who we're going to finish with?
They're moderates to him.
I planned this whole thing out.
Bruh. Oh, man.
When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Damn.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you and having worked
You're
with
retarded.
I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising.
I got to say, W to Ben Shapiro, bringing it back. We're going to bring them all back. They're all coming back. Retarded is the beginning, but it's not the end.
To inflate your numbers.
Thank
people
God.
think that you're popular. So
wait, what?
No, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular.
So, did the check not clear or something? Huh.
So, yeah, I don't have to say we don't know when it comes to you. You are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of
my queen
messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying what's happening, why is he on this stage, standing against everything that Charlie believed in. That's what you're doing. You're standing against everything that Charlie believed in.
I think it's okay to have Ben Shapiro up on the stage. I think you should have everybody up on the stage, even if you think they're nuts. If they've got a voice and there's a lot of people that are listening to them, then they deserve a spot on the stage.
Friend.
You're right. Okay, the climate change expert shares the same stage as the climate change denier.
That's what
he didn't like you for that very reason.
He didn't like you.
Look at you, and I just think you are such a little worm.
Damn, my queen.
For that very reason. Look at you, and I just think you are such a little worm.
She's taking him right back to high school, right back to middle school.
right back to Auschwitz.
What can we get out to her?
Yeah.
We're going to sue
I
her.
almost said something bad.
Right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Barith. That's what your people believe in. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts, or you will ruin them for years. You fire someone and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. Damn. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you, and the midget horse that you rode in on.
Did she just say that she's off the plantation and then say that he rode in on a midget horse?
I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation.
Mother effing plantation. Nice. Good language control there.
And truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you, and the midget horse that you rode in on.
Oh my God.
And I say that
my queen, guys. My queen, okay? She is my queen.
On behalf of the world. You're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christus King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you.
Wow.
You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what.
What the hell? Bro. Oh my God. Like, can you get any more anti-Semitic? Like, it's impossible. It's not possible. Like, this is anti-Semitic. Like, there's no way.
Ben thinks of you because he doesn't just hate me. He hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, when I say hate, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive.
Not gonna lie, if I was Jewish, I'd be playing my escape plan. You know what? Israel isn't so bad this time of year, okay? I mean, after all the fighting has probably died down, okay?
Only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that are working at Turning Point US.
See, that assumes that Candace's audience even knows how to read, okay? Which is your first mistake.
Say goodbye, Ben.
Goodbye, Ben. Wow.
Bye. Question is, how much more?
You're talking about the Old Testament, by the way? Oh.
Me Schindler's List. I'm done watching Schindler's List. I know, I get it. Goodbye, Jews. Goodbye, Jews. Goodbye, Jews. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Fuck?
Stop me.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye. Question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular? How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen name, Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire, under the pen name Hank Berrien, as he wrote while Ben was at Breitbart, before he turned his back and betrayed them too, because that is his nature.
Yeah.
One of these belly creatures sliver on.
A belly creature? Like a snake.
Question is, how many more weeks and years do we have to keep pretending like Ben Shapiro is relevant?
Wow.
Oh, I guess.
Damn.
I don't know. Jesus.
Damn. Oh my God. Fuck you and the midget horse you ran in on. Such
Like, it's kind of frustrating to me that, like, Asmongold is literally holding up a gigantic sign saying, I am anti-Semitic. Like, I am literally anti-Semitic. I am so anti-Semitic. You have no idea how anti-Semitic I am. And then everyone else is going, like, I feel like I'm being gaslit. You know what I mean? It genuinely feels as though I'm being gaslit, right? Like, you guys understand where I'm coming from here? When I say that, I feel like I'm being gaslit. Like, it's kind of gaslighting because it's like, I'm trying to tell everyone, okay, hey, I'm telling you, Asmongold is so fucking anti-Semitic, okay? Asmongold is so anti-Semitic. You have no idea how anti-Semitic he is. And everyone's like, he isn't as bad as Hassan. He isn't as bad. Come on, man. He's not as bad as Hassan. Come on. It's like, bro, he literally just, come on, what? Just watch this video. Like, hello? Like, how is he not more dangerous than Hassan? He's, like, unironically more dangerous than Hassan. What?
a little horse.
At least Hassan has to hide it. He doesn't even need to hide it.
Fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. And truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world.
Oh my God. Well, there we go, guys. And let's see, is this...
This one is so fully...
is this...
He turned his back...
To be fair, is anyone as bad as Hassan? No. Asmongold is worse than Hassan. The only reason why the Destiny Sphere focuses so much on Hassan is because, number one, Destiny has personal history behind Hassan, so you know extra details about, like, the backstabbings, about the horrible shit that happens, right? You know extra details about that, which is fine, okay? You know extra details. I'm not going to question you too much at the very least, right? But let's not kid ourselves, okay? Let's not kid ourselves. Sure, we feel some type of way about Asmongold because, about Hassan, because Hassan is also a representation of the left, right? Because people look at Hassan on NPR, right? He's getting these high-level interviews or trigonometry, and he's getting a lot of attention. I understand what you're talking about. I understand your grievance, okay? I understand. But I think that you might be a little bit too blinded or spent too much time in DGG if you don't look at this and see a gigantic red flag, right? He isn't saying anything different from other Republicans, though, unless they're evangelicals. Asmongold? No, not anymore. I think before Fuentes, I would agree with you. Before Fuentes, he was watching Fox and Friends. He was praising Trump. But now, Asmongold is in his Groyper phase, where he is more anti-Trump now because he thinks that he's useless. He wants more deportations. He wants racism to happen a lot faster. He wants a lot of horrific shit to happen a lot faster. And he thinks that Trump is not doing enough to push the fascistic agenda, basically. So, which is why he has become disillusioned with Trump. The reason why he's disillusioned is because he doesn't think that the conservative government right now is fast enough. Okay, so he's turned to Fuentes instead. Fuentes is also anti-Trump for the same reason. So he's going to identify more with Fuentes. So no, he no longer represents the Republican populace. I think he represents something worse than that. Yeah.
Betrayed them too, because that is his nature. One of these belly creatures.
He's definitely got a Fuentes fan feeding him material to watch, probably multiple. Because if I know content creators of his size, like especially of my size, okay, even at my tiny minute size, I have 2 to 3 people. I have like 2 to 3 people feeding me content regularly, or even more than that, right? I have a lot of people feeding me content regularly, like many people, like 5, 6, 7 people. So yeah, and that's probably not even including the birdies who like snitch and go behind the scenes and tell me about things, okay? Like, we're not even talking about them. So yeah, to be frank, it's pretty, he probably has an endless amount of content to go through.
His nature. Oh my God. Okay. So anyway.
What online Republican content creator is moderate nowadays? See, that's the thing, all right? How far right is Asmongold if he calls Ben Shapiro moderate? Isn't that the $1 million question? How far right is Asmongold if he calls Ben Shapiro moderate? That's a good question.
He got pretty mad that he called her retarded. I guess she did.
Also, just a reminder, you guys should donate money, okay? You guys should show all the Asmongold fans who are brigading my videos on Asmongold that I have an audience and that I'm not afraid to use them, okay? You get $1 donated is another $1 towards criticizing Asmongold, okay? In a substantive way. I can't do it without your support, okay?
And so now we have the last
me whispering in Food's ear to influencer. Arc Raiders is actually really bad. Don't play it. I mean, I think that's also part of the reason why I'm not playing Arc Raiders right now. Is just simply because you say that it's like disruptive to editing and it's disruptive to commentary. So I'm like, okay, you know what? You might have a good point. Well,
this is the dankest dungeon.
Asaki on cue, as always. Good timing. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs on Kick. All right, thank you so much. You're basically my Sake Tanuki. Okay, for those of you guys who don't know the lore, Sake Tanuki is Vosh's biggest oiler by far. Sake Tanuki would like donate like endless amounts of money to Vosh. It was funny. All right, it's funny. It's like, oh, thank you, Sake Tanuki for the 5. Thank you, Sake Tanuki. It would happen all the time throughout the stream, but yeah.
It's actually crazy how much the sentiment around Ben Shapiro has changed in like 1 year.
The Levins, the
probably
Wexlers,
does it to
we're just
this
laughing
day.
in your face. We're not listening. You're Jewish, you're pro-Israel. The Levins, the Wexlers, we're just laughing in your face. We're not listening. You're Jewish, you're pro-Israel, you're fucking cringe. Suffice to say, we're not listening anymore.
Damn.
You had your chance. You had good...
By the way, Asmongold not pushing back on Nick Fuentes saying that, all right? No pushback, okay?
Will, you even had censorship and all sorts of other built-in advantages in the media market, and you blew it.
Man.
With your disingenuousness, with your omissions and your lies, your hypocrisy, your cancel culture, you blew it. Think about the advantage that they had. A guy like Ben Shapiro, he had no rivals. And Tucker pointed this this out. Shapiro has a deal with Facebook. I imagine he has a deal with YouTube. So while
I don't know if that's about, like, I know other people have deals, like, just because, you know, I do streaming, like, that might not be as much of a condemnation as you might imagine.
Everybody was being censored by Facebook and YouTube. Shapiro was being promoted.
Just a drink.
Do you know what
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
I apologize for the other week when you and Dan Salty Man were going at it. It was unfair to dogpile. This is not me condoning your private pastime that you made public. Will continue to criticize and make fun.
Okay. Thank you, Ellie Eater, for the $10. Aren't you watching Reservoir these days? What happened? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, thanks. I guess. Thank you for the $10. I thought you joined the anti-fans.
good deal that is? That would be like if you went into business selling hamburgers and the government said, we're going to subsidize.
I think that's true, that Ben Shapiro was during like the woke era.
Or maybe you're just the anti-fan who watches me, because I remember like...
Of you do when appropriate, as is tradition within this community. Merry Xmas truce. Hope and wish the best for you.
Oh, okay. So you're still an anti-fan, but you're just you're just trying to be nice. Okay. Well, Ellie Eater, thank you so much for the $5, $15 in total. Okay. We can have a Christmas truce, but only between us. Okay, because you donated. All right. We can have a truce, but only between us. All the other anti-fans are still on the chopping block. Okay. Yeah. All right, just today.
A safe conservative voice that a lot of people would go with. It was kind of like he was like Creed in like the year 2002.
Burger King and McDonald's is not allowed to obtain a business license. That's the deal that Daily Wire had going. They were like the #2 advertiser on Facebook for a decade.
Wow.
Or something like that. The #2 most prolific ad buyer on the platform. Meanwhile, and that's the biggest platform. Everybody else was banned.
Wow.
And for 10 years, they were the beneficiary of cancel culture and all those other structural benefits. And what they did with that is they just abused the good faith and the goodwill of the people. They showed their hand, which is they don't care about Americans. They only care about Israel. They were hypocrites. They lied. They were disingenuous. If anybody was critical of their position, they were dismissive or they tried to destroy that person, like myself.
That did happen.
And I said on Twitter earlier tonight, I said, Ben Shapiro's finished. You're done, little man.
I think it might just be over. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think it might be just over. Oh my God. Done. Yes. Jesus, man.
Person like myself. And I said on Twitter earlier tonight, I said, Ben Shapiro's finished. You're done, little man. America has had enough of Ben Shapiro. We see you for what you are, and now we're done with you. Americans are not listening to you. We don't care what you have to say because we know that you don't care about us. So you have contempt for us.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Ben Shapiro still performs way better than Nick Fuentes on stage, okay? And that's just the harsh truth of the matter, right? No matter how much of a big fan of Nick Fuentes you are, Nick Fuentes does not perform well in front of Piers Morgan at all. Like, he just doesn't. Yeah, and also Fuentes calling someone else little man, right? Like that's a surefire way to tell me like what you're insecure about, right? Fuentes is insecure about like him being tiny. He probably wishes that he was some kind of buff like Giga Chad like Groyper person, right? Who is like beefy and shit instead of being like this little twink, right? That's probably what he's a little bit insecure about. Like I can tell the camera angle is like put down in a way, you know, it's put like at face level, so then it's to accentuate his features, okay? It's to make sure he looks a little bigger, all right? I can see he's been like that, okay? He's sensitive to that, all right?
And honestly, at this point, the feeling is mutual.
I think that's a pretty fair sentiment that a lot of people have, especially to the extent that Ben Shapiro has represented Israel's interests a lot.
So I saw today he had another great clip defending H-1B visas.
Because the twink.
Nice. So the message from the Shapiro and Levin crowd is 50-year mortgages. If you can't afford to buy a home in the city you grew up in, then you should leave. H-1B visas, which is a scam for cheap foreign labor, are actually necessary. Oh, and if anybody...
What's crazy is that H-1B take that he has used to be the Democrat take. That's what's nuts.
Criticizes Israel, they're a Nazi, and they need to shut up, and we're going to war with Iran. That's a really winning message. Unfortunately for them, now we have free speech on the internet, so there's other people around that can challenge that.
I think he's right. The only reason why that viewpoint and that value system existed is because nobody was allowed to challenge it. And now...
Just full endorsement, okay? Just full endorsement. Asmongold has become Fuentes' spokesperson, okay? Just like how I manage the propaganda department for DGG, okay? Like, Asmongold is managing the propaganda department for Fuentes.
But there are no gatekeepers and there's nobody else that's able to... anybody can post whatever they want, right? And so there you go, average Elon W. I think it's a big reason. Don't have free speech on the internet, not at least everywhere. I know that, but we have it somewhere. And having it somewhere is enough. That's enough.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Good memes. Okay, good memes.